a lot of those discussions I have are with people that have come through a 12-step program because that's the program that I've gone through. Now, you've said there that you haven't gone down that route, but it's really interesting because when I hear you talk, Dale, so many of your basic philosophical views are what I follow in my 12-step program. And I
Yeah.
just find that it's really interesting that you don't need it written on the wall. You know, you seem to have it intuitively within you. But things like helping others, sharing your story, having routine, journaling, writing inventory, you know, all these sorts of things are all parts of my program that I work. You work them, but it's in a different way. It's really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly I looked into the programs. I know like Smart Recovery is another one.
Mm,
I I read the steps. I read the 12 steps, and I didn't say to myself, I need to complete those steps, but I did find, there was one in there, maybe perhaps about making amends, I think. Is that
yeah.
right?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is.
I
Yep.
remember
Step
reading
9. Yep.
that and telling Bridget, part of this seems to be like apologizing, or at least trying to set some things straight. And I
Mm,
said to her, I'm like, I don't like, she was the person most affected by my drinking. And I've told her 1,000 times that I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how I treated you and stuff like that. And so when I thought about that stuff, I'm like, I can't even imagine who else I would be trying to make amends with, because
mm,
my drinking was just so personal and so isolated that it didn't, well, at least I think it didn't have a great effect on too many other people. But the
yep.
steps were something that I was interested in early on. I liked the idea of going to a meeting and getting a little badge and,
Yeah.
being able to look at it and say I did it. But then, 6 months into my sobriety, the pandemic hit, and
Yeah.
thank goodness I had 6 months under my belt, because God,
Mm,
if I had all of that extra time, yeah, it would have been terrible. But yeah, at that point, I was locked in to really, yeah, I was locked into my sobriety by the time the pandemic hit, and my daughter was born basically day one of the pandemic.
yeah.
So I had a lot to live for at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so when did you know that you were never going to drink again?
I still don't. And
Yeah.
it's not that I want to, but I would never say I will never drink again. I will say I hope I never do.
Mm, that's a beautiful way
Because
of putting it.
I have a I have a sickness.
Mm,
I am in control right now. And
yes.
I hope that I stay in control. And
Mm,
if I keep doing if I keep doing all the things that I'm doing, it's highly likely that I will stay in control.
yes.
I don't have any reason. I can't see a reason for me to want to turn back. I've never woken up on a Sunday and wished I had a hangover. So my poor my poor wife, she's been sick the last few days, migraines and a sore gut. And I just think to myself, I couldn't imagine being hungover and also dealing with being like sick. So yeah, I would never say that I won't drink again, but I hope it never
Yes.
happens for sure. Yeah.
That's a beautiful way of putting it.